Hey everybody, and welcome to another retro review. This time, let's talk about some classic Street Fighter 2. I remember I stumbled upon this one back in the arcades, and this is the one that I played the most on the Super Nintendo. So just for reference, Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition and Turbo are all available here and via the recording of Capcom Classics Collection Volume 1. It's actually funny to realize and really think about that Street Fighter 2 only came out 1 year before Mortal Kombat did. And this is the one that really popularized the fighting game genre and probably changed it for all time. And is certainly considered one of the mainstays, if not the greatest fighting game of all time. I remember playing this one a bunch with my brother and my friends, and this is the one that really changed it all. Released in 1991 with its 8 colorful characters and 3 different kicks and punches and the many different special moves. I always used to favor Guile as a kid. I loved his double sweep move. But they're all good in their own way. Every character's special move is pretty unique in a way. Ryu and Ken have the same moves, just different character looks. Guile with his anti-air kick and projectile. It's actually interesting how in this game only 4 characters such as Ken, Ryu, Guile, and Dhalsim only have projectiles, whereas everybody else is usually a charge type or a rapid attack type character. Except for Zangief, who is a wrestler type, and I have never really been able to use him properly. By the way, this is something that I never really realized about the game when I always played it. I always found it kind of funny, and I always just assumed that it was a glitch, but actually it was just something that the game was never really able to do after doing a little bit of research. When I was originally playing this for this video, and I was fighting Zangief, I was just having such a tough time, so finally I just decided, how about we do a quick little Zangief on Zangief? Well, the original version of Street Fighter 2 can't do mirror matches. So whenever you did a same character versus, it always, chooses the previous character that you chose, and then that was who you fought. So, just something kind of funny that I never really realized. I always just thought it was a glitch. So, yeah, there's that. I actually went back with the express purpose of actually beating it. Because for the original video, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get any farther, I think, than getting to Dhalsim or something like that. But I finally did it. The first 3, Ken, E Honda, and Dhalsim, weren't too difficult, and then Guile became a bit of a stumbling block. But once I changed up my style and stayed aggressive, that helped out quite a bit. But then freaking Zangief. This guy, I swear to God, his grapples and grabs do an insane amount of damage, and just trying to get around his defenses are just irritating. Eventually, I just adopted a new strategy and learned to become more offensive with this game. Fuck you! No, but more seriously though, I just kind of learned to do some more ground attacks when necessary and really just change up my fighting style. I kept knocking them down and stunning them to do some throw damage. It's actually pretty interesting how the throws do more damage than a special move. And that's just what I kept doing and trying to do throughout the rest of the game. Some like Chun-Li here were a pushover, and I got past fairly quickly. And others took a little bit more time and patience to deal with. Sagat here was always a huge pain in my ass, with his low and high Igers. That's pretty much what it sounds like. Constantly having to jump over his fireballs and worrying about if and when he'd throw out a tiger uppercut. But still just slowly pushing against him, I finally got him. And now the main event. I haven't fought M. Bison since I was a kid. This is gonna be awesome. He is so damn fast and his moves are pretty quick too. But just keep the same strategy, stay offensive, and you can take him. Oh my god, I beat him! I remember caring about wanting to see the endings. I remember only seeing 2 as a kid, Ryu and M. Bison's with Street Fighter 2 Turbo. They're pretty lackluster, to be honest. I'm just glad I could finally beat it for this video. Street Fighter 2, a pretty solid and fun little fighter. It does have a few little holdbacks for it, such as the difficulty, which can just build to insane amounts of frustration. So now for the rest of this video, I'm going to talk about the other Street Fighter 2 updates. And well, up next, as chronologically, speech impediment, let's talk about Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition. Coming out 1 year later, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition is pretty much an updated version on the same game, with some differences I was never aware of. Now you can play as the same character as your opponent, the character colors are different as well, and the 4 bosses are now playable. This is just what was noticeable to me at the time and then even playing it. I actually don't notice the balancing differences with the characters, but I only devoted a little time to this version. I've actually never played Championship Edition. I remember it never came out on the Super Nintendo. What I've played I did enjoy. I played as the bosses and I like Sagat. His range is a pretty good advantage, as are his different fireballs. Vega is a good speed character, but he doesn't have a lot of attack varieties. A pretty good update, but I never actually played it as a kid, so it was actually nice getting to play it for this video. Now onto the update that I did play, Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Street Fighter 2 Turbo is the update that I played as a kid on the Super Nintendo. So this was my experience of getting to play the bosses and the mirror matches. And some characters got some new and additional moves too, like Chun-Li here now having a fireball move, E Honda with an aerial move, and Blanca as well. The biggest change with Street Fighter 2 Turbo obviously was the speed. But I kinda gotta ask, is that really necessary? The speed does make it a tad more interesting, but that kind of ruins the speed fighters, doesn't it? Taking away their one advantage and giving speed to everyone else, or really just allows them to catch up to them. I guess really when you think about it, they do still have a better height and wall jump advantage at least. Some of the color changes can be a bit distracting, or just an odd choice, like Zangief here. Now his scars and the inside of his mouth are green. What is he, radioactive now? Or maybe that's where his power comes from. Or maybe not. Now, granted, Turbo was the version that I played, but after playing Championship Edition, that's the version that I prefer. The speed is a nice little update, but that's just my opinion. Now, on to the last update. Now, there was an update before this one of Super Street Fighter 2, but that's not the version that was available here on Capcom Classics Collection 2. It's Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. And let's move on to that one. This was the last update or expansion to Street Fighter 2. This time they changed quite a lot. 4 additional characters, new looks and sounds for just about all the characters. Some new moves and even fighting styles for a few characters as well. New music, look, and they even changed the announcer's voice. USA! Round 1, fight! This apparently is the definitive edition for a lot of Street Fighter 2 fans. The perfect version. So before this version, as I said earlier, I played a lot of Super Street Fighter 2. And finally playing this version, I gotta say, I like this one the least. I don't like the re-edited intro with Cammy and Chun-Li. Just feels unnecessary to what is already there, with Badass, Ryu, seeing Akuma is fine, but this just looks dumb to me. And maybe that's a bit nitpicky, but that's just my opinion. And the game feels a tad too hard. This time around, I can't even get past the first opponent. This has never happened to me before. I tried changing up my tactics, changing characters, but nope. Now maybe it's just me. I don't consider myself a master or really good at fighting games or anything like that, but man, I know I don't suck this much. Frickin' T-Hawk here with his anti-air dash and this one super throw he can do whenever the hell he wants. Fuck you, dude. I remember really liking Fei Long. He's modeled after Bruce Lee, so Yeah, but I gave it quite a bit, but I just got fed up with this version. If I can't even beat my first opponent and just get stomped over and over again, that's just no fun. This was the one for this video that I got frustrated with the most. Not in a while have I had an experience where I wanted to drop or just throw my controller across the room. And that just doesn't make for a good experience. Other people can like it, and that's perfectly fine, but for me, the version that I like the most is probably Street Fighter II Championship Edition. Alright, well, there you go, everybody. My retro opinion about the original Street Fighter II series. If you guys enjoyed this, please hit this video with a like or subscribe. I would really appreciate it. In fact, let me know, like, what version of Street Fighter II do you prefer? The original, Championship Edition, Turbo, or the Super Series? Please let me know. And this was about the dropping off point for me. I did play the few of the others. I played a little bit of Alpha 2, but that was kind of it. And I did enjoy 4 for what it was. Anyway, guys, I'll see you next time. This apparently is the definitive edition. This apparently is the definitive...